Hey Dan, it's Sunday night, my big weekend of swimming is over and I'm home, laying on my bed, in front of my books. It was a pretty rotten weekend. We had Marshall's meet, as I told you, on Saturday, and then that was in Albert Lea, which is about 2 hours west on I-90. And then went to my meet today, staying at Amy and Dave's last night. It was it was a bummer of a weekend. We had Marshall's meet. That was fine. He actually qualified, I think, in 2 events for state, both relays. So there were three of his mates. One was the 200 200 medley relay. So I think Marshall swam the freestyle leg, and then I think they also qualified in the 200 free relay. Oh, hello, kitty cat. Kitty butt for you. There we go. That's kind of how my day went right there. And as we were leaving Albert Lea, we both wanted an ice cream. I know it sounds simple and a little petty. Hello, kitty. And so we went by Dairy Queen. Well, as we found out afterwards, they should have just called themselves Queen. We waited in the drive-thru line for probably 3 or 4 minutes to even have our order taken. And then we ordered. I ordered simply a cone dipped in chocolate, and Marshall ordered a caramel milkshake. And the woman on the other side of the speaker, the disembodied voice, said that they just ran out of milk. Can we order something else? They, of course, were sitting right next to a Safeway, and they were out of milk. So I asked her, did that mean you don't have milkshakes, or that means you don't have cones? She said milkshakes. And I said, well, we don't want something else, nor do we want the ice cream cone. And she said, okay. I'm suspecting she had run into that before, that response. So we left Albert Lea ice creamless and went north. My meet, I will, after this clip, I will play some of my meet for you, and also some of Marshall's. It did not go well. During the 200, I felt I wasn't even done with the first 50, and I thought, I am not going to make it. I don't have it. I don't have the smoke that I had the previous year. Last April was the last time I had a pool meet, and I didn't have it, man. I was tired. I was already running out of breath. I mean, I don't know what it was. I don't know if that through adding lifting, weightlifting to my regimen, that I've cut back on my yards significantly enough, or that I'm just swimming more slowly now. And so I'm swimming stronger, but not as fast. You know what I mean? So it's a bit like somebody who runs the 10,000 deciding that they're going to run the 100-meter sprint and realize that it's a completely different race, sprinting versus running at a fast pace for a long way. And my time last April was 2:04, and I came in at 2:05, so it was only a second off, but it felt so, it felt bad. My next race, which I don't have video of, was the 100, and as I came off the starting blocks and hit the water and came up, my goggles came down about like this. So I had a snaffle bit in my mouth of goggles, and I literally had to, as I'm swimming, stop and grab my goggles and pull them down around my neck. And that was in the first 25 yards, and then keep going. But now I couldn't see the wall, and I had to guess where the wall was based on where the flags were, which I saw when I was breathing. And I ended up at 59 seconds, 4 seconds slower than my best time last year. And I think part of that was just I had just used more energy than I had during the 200. Or I had used my allotted energy during the 200. And to make matters worse, when I got up on the pool deck, one of the swim officials came over and said, she said, "I saw your goggles came off. It must have been a hard race." I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, I also have to disqualify you for a false start." And I started laughing. I don't think she was expecting that reaction, but I said, "That's all right." I said, "What I do," and I knew what I did, but I wanted to verify that that's what she had seen. When you go down into your starting stance, you have to stay absolutely still until the starting gun goes off. And what I had done is you typically sort of cock back onto your back leg so that you can spring forward, and I had already started moving forward before the gun went off, and that unfortunately is a no-no. So not only did my goggles come off and I swam slowly, but I got DQ'd. My next race, which was almost immediately after, so I was in the 8th heat of 9 heats in the 100 free, and then I was in the second heat of the 50 butterfly, which is the very next event. So I had about 2 minutes to rest before I was in that 50 fly. And the 50 fly was tough. I had never done it before. And when I got out, I went and talked to Tom, the Rochester coach, asked him how I did, and he said, "Well, it was pretty bad." And then he enumerated all the things that I had done wrong. And I don't know what it was, Dan. I mean, this meet more than any. In fact, I think what I'll do is at this point I'll stop and I'll do some voiceover as we're watching mine and Marshall's meets. All right, Dan. So this is Marshall's first event. I think it's the 200 fly, and I'm officiating. So one of his teammates is recording this. That's one of his other teammates. They're yelling at him to go faster. This was the same first event as mine, actually. So I've so we'll be able to see who's going faster, right? So anyway, it's maybe it'll be a like father, like son kind of a thing. But you can see now this is the second 50. He's already a bit slow, but watch his arms. This is something I want to point out to him is he's not really extending his arms as he's swimming. Of course, maybe I'm not either. But anyway, as I was saying before, I just felt like I didn't have my stuff today, and what I think has happened is that with all the, I've been doing a lot of weightlifting, right? And I've gotten stronger, but I don't think I've been working enough cardio. So I've been doing lots of workouts, but I mean, honestly, I can swim 10,000 yards a day, and if I only swim it at a jogging pace, I'm never going to be able to sprint. So, okay, this is his third 50. He's hurting now. It's a hard race. So I just think I need to focus more on cardio and still do the weightlifting, because the strength is important, but not nearly as important as the cardio is, especially for a 200. I mean, I'm building myself up perfectly, appropriately for these long races, these miles, 2 miles, 5 mile race. There's actually a 6.2 mile race I'm going to do this summer. So it's a regular 10K, but it doesn't do me any good for the sprint. And I think what I have to do is I have to make a decision. What is it I really want to do? Do I want to focus on that? Do I want to focus on these sprints? Here he is going in for the end. Well done, Marshall. I can honestly say I know how hard that is. So anyway, and that's me in the orange cap. So my goal here in this race was to stay up with the guy on my on the far side from me, but see how early I came up from the flip turns. Anyway, I mean, I'm hurting so bad right here. I can't hardly even stand it. But I'm still, you know, my stroke count is slower than the guy next to me, but I'm going faster. And here's where I'm pulling ahead of him. But obviously I lose it at some point. But yeah, I'm just tired right there. Now I'm going into the second 100 and I'm thinking I'm never going to make this. I mean, look, I'm ahead of this guy right there at this point. More than halfway. And what I can't remember is if I beat the guy on the end, you know, on this side of me. Frankly, I just lost all track of him. So, because I was hurting badly. So, anyway, it's you know, and it's funny because I watch this and I think, man, I'm swimming so slow. What's the deal? And here's where the guy really pulls away from me in that far lane. I mean, he really turns the kick on, and I'm trying to kick, but I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, so I'm sorry, I'm losing track here, but anyway, it was tough. It was really tough. Oh, I did beat that guy next to me, thank God. So, I don't think you can see the time there. It's 2:05:26, I guess it was. So now here I am, orange cap. This is my butterfly. Never having swam the butterfly before in my life. And, you know, again, I have absolutely no sense of where I am relative to the people next to me, but, you know, I guess it looks okay. I felt like crap, but so anyway, I'm gonna have to draw this to a close. I'm drawing it close to the end of my video, so that's that. Thank you for watching. Sorry, I realized I had one more bit to watch, and here's Marshall doing the butterfly. You can see he's struggling just to get his arms over. Watch the guy on the left-hand side really being able to get up and over, and Marshall's having a hard time. And where that power is generated from is from the legs. Do you see him right there? He almost went off on his back because he forgot. This is the 200 IM, and he forgot what he was doing. He thought he was about to go on to backstroke, which is in the 100 IM. So you'll see him start backstroke here as soon as he hits the wall. But anyway, the 200 IM is a hard race. Again, so he does 200 fly, 50 fly, 50 back, 50 breast, 50 free, and it's hard. But anyway, so I came out of it not quite, you know, I just don't know after today what I wanted to focus on. I mean, I would love to break 2 minutes in that 200, and I'm just not sure how I'm going to have to focus my workouts in order to do that. I'm going to have to do a lot more cardio. I don't think I have to do any more yards than I currently am, but I'm going to definitely have to change how I swim the yards that I am doing. And that will be at the detriment of my distance swimming. And I have to tell you, I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy the way I feel in that 200, which makes me sort of all the more determined to do it. And to do it well, but it's but I just think it's going to take so much work to get there, and you know, we'll see if I can manage it. But Anyway, it's I don't know. I just haven't decided if that's. I felt, had that horrible feeling in your stomach. When you're watching the Galaxy play and you want them to win so badly. That's how I felt going into the meet, and I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this? I'm not even really enjoying it. I can't jump in and just relax and enjoy it. Like I do some of the distance swimming that I do. So, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. So now I really am drawing to the close, because as soon as Marshall is at that far end, I'm going to turn the video off. But hopefully you had a good weekend. Thank you for your updates on your house. I have been watching them diligently. Yeah, I guess I will turn it back over to myself right about now. So that was the weekend. I did end up getting a milkshake. Marshall and I came home. We drove around in ever-increasing circles after we left the University of Minnesota and could not find anywhere. But we found a Cold Stone Creamery. I don't know if you've ever heard of Cold Stone Creamery in Rochester. And we got a milkshake, and I was happy. But then I realized when I got home, I felt horrible. Oh man, I just thought I was getting sick, and I had a headache. And I realized that I had not eaten a single thing since breakfast, and all I had was a bagel and some yogurt and granola. So it, all in all, I felt, still dead.